And welcome back to part 13 of Neptunia Reverse, where today we're continuing our desperate escape to a nearby town in Lowee as we try and escape the Basilicom and their pursuits on us. Because the Basilicom's after us because of the order of Blan seems to have a really angry "I'm going to shut you all down, you're all associates of Conversacion and Arthur and Avenir and everything else, so you must die." And unless we can get some reason into her or figure out what the hell's really going on, our only real choice right now is to just keep on running. To be honest, it kind of weirdly reminds me of that one part in the original Pokemon Mystery Dungeon where you get ran out of town and you spend like 4 dungeons in a row just running away because you're on like you're constantly being chased because they believe that your existence will bring the end of the world. And if you've never played a Mystery Dungeon game and you're sitting there going, what the fuck, that doesn't sound like Pokemon at all. Yeah, I know, that's what made the Mystery Dungeon games great. the first Mystery Dungeon and Mystery Dungeons Explorers of the Sky, especially Explorers of the Sky, holy shit, that's one of my favourite games ever. It's one of my favourite Nintendo games.
It is finally mine.
Or like Nintendo released games. It's like, I always have time for that. But yeah, they got weird and dark, but there was a point in that game where they believe you're going to bring the end of the world, they will destroy you. But because the people that hunt you have mercy for you because they know it's not your fault, they decide to say, we'll give you a night to run, and after that we will start tracking you down. And you end up running through a cave, a volcano, a frozen forest, and then scaling a mountain before you stumble upon like this deity that explains that no, you're not the destroyer of the world, as that's a really poorly interpreted fact out of context, and it needs to be elaborated on. You're unrelated to the world being destroyed. A meteorite is what's going to destroy the world, so maybe let's calm it down. And then it's all forgiven like 5 minutes later, and you're like, what? Anyway, we've got a cutscene. There they are. They're in the forest. They found us. Hands behind your head and stay on the ground. Hell no, the ground is cold and wet and mushy. I don't want to get dirty. Snow isn't white like most people think, you know, so that's a no-go. Give up already. Oh, you're going to face us? Now let's go, dragon, I choose you. Speaking of Pokemon, Mr. Monster is coming out of the enemy disc. I see, so they did come from Lowee. We'll be serious then. Go, Nep Nep, I choose you. Pika! I won't hold back against monsters. She transformed. What are you expecting from me? Oh, I don't know. Maybe a command from my Iffy? No, follow me here. You can do this. There's no time to be joking. You can do it, Iffy. Oh, alright then. Go, Lady Vert. I choose you. That's what I've been waiting for. Now let me show you my power. She changed too? No matter. Through rigorous training, people and monsters can become stronger. I have lived and trained with my fighting monsters, and that will never change. Messenger and Momus, we will grind you with our superior power.
I will use all that I have. I am ready.
And we got another dragon. Get used to a few enemy designs getting reused a lot.
Who wants to take
As I keep on having to reinforce, and it's something that I will continue to do so because it's so painfully felt in this game. No matter how many times they remaster it and clean things up and change a few graphical things, like with Reverse actually, you know, giving the Lowee dungeons a snowy theme to them, it doesn't change the fact that this is based on the original Neptunia, and I think one of the first games Idea Factory ever made. And so this game doesn't have the resources or money that the later Neptunia games have, and so expect a lot of things to be reused as the game goes on. It's one of the biggest things I criticised in my review, is not just that the fact that you bump into a lot of familiar looking enemies in this game, it's the fact that you go through like the same 6 dungeon layouts like a million times throughout it, especially if you're doing the optional dungeons. Like the 2 techie like digital space dungeons we've done, I've had near identical designs, and what doesn't help is that they both had the same filter, so you really felt that they were near identical.
Leave it to me.
And it's going to be the same thing every time you go through like the temple themed areas. they also have very similar designs. Usually the only unique thing they do is make you start on the opposite end.
I am ready.
Which, to be fair, a few dungeons do it. The Monster Cave does it as well. Sometimes it will just make you start on what would be the exit in another dungeon and make what would be the entrance now the exit. They just flip it round, but it's still the exact same layout. It's just it's starting from a different starting point.
Once more. Bam!
And each game that goes on through this does get better with it. I'm not going to say they've ever completely dealt with it, because even in V2R, more so in Act 3, when it was like reaching the end of development, you went into those weird, like their own version, like their new cyberspace heart dimension themed dungeons, where it was like the grid effects and it was all the blue themed dungeons. You did them a lot in Act 3.
Here I go.
But what made up for it though is that they all at least had unique layouts, each one. It was the same aesthetic. Like, something that I always have a lot of time for with V2 and V2R is just how much variety there is in that game, even when they start reusing things. The second game is slightly better than this with it, but it still gets very repetitive. And the third game, I straight up complimented how much of an effort they had made to try and mix it up. And rather depressingly, the second and third game has unique dungeon layouts that for some reason weren't used again in the games that have come after. There are some dungeon layouts in Nep 2 that aren't used again in Nep 3 or 4, and a couple in Nep 3 that aren't used again in Nep 4. And I feel like, why not? Like in Nep 3, they started doing something called city dungeons. Or domain dungeons, or of whatever they call it, which is literally, it's a dungeon based on the city of residence. So you'd go to Planetoon, and it was you were walking through the city of Planetoon, but now there was enemies roaming, and it was treated like a dungeon. And they brought that back in V2R, but there was another one for Lowee, and it was actually like one of my favourite dungeons in Victory, the Lowee dungeon exploration, because it was a teleport maze, and it was a teleport maze that was actually interesting and kind of enjoyable. And it made it stand out because there was actually more brain power in it that wasn't just find your way through and kill everything in sight like it is for most of the time in the first two games. And it didn't come back in the fourth one. So I would have loved to have seen like a revised version of that dungeon. And I kind of get why, like story-wise, because it's a dungeon that's in Ultra Dimension where there's a lot more traditional aesthetic to Lowee. And so it has a very like, a lot of grassy patches and like shrine effects, and there's teleporters around there. But I feel like they still could have got away with it in V2R by just making it say like, I don't know, a town near Lowee's capital, instead of it just being Lowee like it is in Ultra Dimension where you go to in the third game.
This may hurt a bit.
Are you ready?
And I really like the city dungeons. Well, I've complimented them a bunch in V2R. I think they're at their best in Victory 1, or the third game, just because you have Lowee that gets one as well. And the fact that they there's only, in the main story, 2 city dungeons in Planetoon. The one that you do right at the very start of the game, that's like literally like the first proper dungeon of the game. And the other one is the last dungeon of the game, and they treat it as like a full circle. Because when you go there in the start of the game, it's like a very morning bright effect. You start at the subway station and you just go on to the end. You fight a pretty easy boss, and it's a really relaxing dungeon that kind of makes you eases you into Planetoon, eases you into the game. The final dungeon of the game, you're doing it the opposite way around. It's in the middle of the night, it's raining, it's all dark and misty. All the enemies will rip your goddamn head off. And you have to go a very elaborate route to go back through it, because a lot of the routes that you could just skip through are cut off. And you're making your way all the way back to that subway station that you started at the game as. It made a nice full circle effect with it. And I really enjoyed it for that. I like it when games can do that and do it right, and the third game I felt really did that right. The reason why I didn't talk about that boss too much is just because it's another dragon-based enemy, and you've fought so many of them at this point that I'd rather talk about other stuff.
Just like the dying embers of white ash.
Hey! Get a hold of yourself!
Phew. And that's that.
Let's get out of here before more come this way.
See ya! Pippy, Nap, wait up!
I think we're safe now. I see lights up ahead. We must be close to the city.
I can't move anymore.
Are you okay, Compa? You want me to transform and carry you?
Oh, I'm fine. I just need to rest a bit.
Come on, we're friends and all, so no need to be shy. I get a lot more power when I change, and I can fly too,
Are you stupid? What are you doing? What's the matter, Iffy? You look serious.
I saw something light up down there.
It must be them.
See? Now they located us. I'm sorry. Now is not the time to feel sorry. Let's hurry and be on our way. But where?
It seems you need some help.
Who is that?
I'm CC2. I was asked to help you out. I'd appreciate it if you'd take down your arms.
How can we know you're not working with the Basilicom?
You need proof? Sadly, I just need your trust, since I'm without proof.
Iffy, I don't think we have a choice. I don't think bad people come out so openly.
And people with such soft, fluffy ears and tail can't be bad.
Oh, Neptune, you're just the same no matter the realm. And I appreciate your comment on my ears and tail, but they're fake.
Really? I'm almost positive the velvet soft feel is real.
Realm? Are you from another place too?
From the looks of it, you must have met others like me too.
I guess I can trust you. I'm sorry for being so doubtful there.
Oh, don't worry. Anyway, we need to get you out of here. Follow me. The person who asked me to help is right up ahead.
Aren't you coming too, CC2?
I was just asked to help bring you here and nothing more. Also, they could still be on chase, so I'll go mix things up a bit.
Thanks for all the help, CC2. Be careful.
Sure thing. See ya!
Nice to meet you all again.
You were with Blonde.
Yes, I am. Again, Lady Blonde's Chamberlain. Financier.
Were we tricked again? Even if you are a girl, I'll have to kill you if you get in our way.
Get in your way? Why no. Quite the contrary. I've asked CC2 to help, as I had a favor to ask of you all.
Quite hard to believe.
We don't have much time. Please, follow me. If you feel at any time a sense of deceit, please, go ahead and kill me.
I think we can trust her. I mean, there's gotta be a good reason behind this.
Neptune, you can't be serious.
I second Nep Nep. I feel like we can trust her.
Ma, you're both so trusting.
Thank you. Now please, this way.
CyberConnect 2 isn't even the most blatant "this is a company" name in this game. There's another one coming up that the first time I saw it and I was like, what the fuck? Like, I even made a video of it at the time. There's a couple character names in this that are so blatant. Oh, so CC2 is literally based on CyberConnect 2, the team that were originally going to be working on the Final Fantasy 7 remake before Square Enix made it more in-house. And then later on, there's going to be another company that we meet that's been turned into a character. That's also just the name of the company, and it doesn't make any sense for a name. Like, Magus, I think a lot of people, myself included, are prepared to let slide because it's a Steins Gate character. And even if there's like a full stop in her name that you're supposed to pronounce and it doesn't make any verbal sense, it's still Magus. It's still a word that sounds at least something like a name. You can at least convince yourself it's a name. CyberConnect 2 isn't. Like, it's the same with IF. Like, a lot of people let IF off just because everyone just calls it Iffy. And Iffy is something that's a bit cuter and sounds a little bit more like a name. And like, they did it right with Compa. Instead of making it call it... Because imagine if they called Compa Compile Heart. Or CH. No, they did it right calling her Compa. Just shrinking down Compile to Compa. They should have tried to do something like that with IF to begin with. Like, I don't think Iffy should have been a nickname. I think Iffy should have been her name outright. But whatever. Okay, we're in the city. See, I told you to trust her. I don't sense anyone chasing us. It seems we are indeed safe now. Now that you're safe, I need you to meet another person. This person is why you helped us? Yes. Don't tell me, Lowee CPU is here awaiting us. That's partially correct, but it's quite hard to explain. Hello there, Financier. It's been quite a while. I see two delicate beauties. Are they the ones you mentioned? Yes, I was somehow able to get them here, away from the Basilicom. I see, my name is Older Brother. This here is Younger Brother. Older Brother and Younger Brother? What unusual names. They're not our real names, they're aliases, right, Older Brother? Yes, the beauty with the eyeglasses. Can you grace us with your name? My, what an honest person. My name is Vert. Vert, well, a kind and voluptuous name. May I call you Lady Vert? Why, most certainly. Now, the fine maiden with the flowing pink hair, may I receive your name? Me? My name is Compa. Ah, Compa. The name resonates, angelic beauty. That's the first time anyone's praised my name. Hey there, my name's Neptune. I'm IF. Financier, so they will be seeing. Yes, it may be complicated, but I believe they can help. Very well, let us lead the way as gentlemen. Lady Compa, this way. Thank you. Lady Vert, may I? The footsteps are slippery, so let me lead the way. My, how thoughtful of you. Have you realised why the boys are talking to them and not these two? Nep, did you notice too? Those two are dissing us, right? Being so nice to only Compa and Vert. I don't know what they're up to, but I haven't been this irritated before. I'm sorry, they only have interest in those with special arrangements. What? Wait, now we're being prejudiced by our breasts? What's wrong with Lowee? Oh, now it's on! Nep, I'll turn a blind eye. Go ahead and transform. Show me your stuff. We'll do on that, Iffy. Oh, but wait. What's the matter, Nep? Hey, wait up, you two. Oh, that voice. What? A full-bodied idol in place of that flat wonder of the world. This is my true power. Oh, no. My insolence aside, may we ask your name? Neptune. A name of regality and a delight of 1,000 moons. It is as if purely intangible form, a goddess's name is the name indeed. What? Hey, Nep, you're going to betray me? I'm sorry, Iffy, but this is me. Nep, you traitor! Are they really gay? Lady Vert, you are truly like a goddess. Well, she is one, you know. The name Neptune is also a name of a goddess's as well. Well, she is one too. Iffy is all apathetic and everything. Where are we headed to? Oh, with the presence of goddesses around us, we almost forgot. Duh, they are goddesses. Being gifted is such a crime, is it not, older brother? Oh yeah, sorry for lacking on the gift package here. In short, we are part of a resistance group. Resistance? That I could tell, but against what? That is, of course, the CPU of Lowee, Lady Whiteheart. What? That's obvious, Lady Whiteheart is lacking all over. I bet you'll just want to bring her down to put up Lady Thundertits, right? Nep, Iffy's apathy level just went up. I'm sorry, Iffy, all because I betrayed you. Well, if that's what Iffy said is true, I have half the mind to be fine with it. Oh, is that true? For you, we will follow you to the end of the world. If you let them continue, this will just get worse. Let me explain instead. Lowee was a land about the joy of laughter amongst both the young and old. But of recent, Lowee has placed weight in becoming a nation of power. We are slowly becoming a land with the vision of dominating the world. Well, quite unexpected, especially from Lowee. The citizens were against the change, but this is Lady Whiteheart's will. That is why we have formed a resistance group to get Lowee back to normal. Iffy, do you know anything about this? Small isn't bad. I mean, some people like small. Small. It looks like Iffy it still has residual damage. Residual, when I can speak. Nep, Iffy's getting worse. Iffy's much more concerned about size than I expected. Iffy, if you don't stop, I'm going to not like you anymore. What? I adored that strong yet cool demeanor of yours, along with your cuteness. Now your eyes are dull, with a lacking of hope. That is not the Iffy I know. Based on my intel, Lowee has begun its militaristic reform a few months ago. Lady Whiteheart changed all of a sudden, making such drastic changes. Now, oh, that's my Iffy. Wow, she recovered fast. Nep, you should change back. You're going to tire yourself out like that. Oh, yes, right. What happened to Lady Whiteheart, Miss Financier? I believe it can be better explained by the person you'll be meeting. We're here. Excuse me, I bring you our powerful allies. I'm busy now. I'm sorry, but can you lead them out? What? They came all the way here for us. It'd be rude to send them off. Oh, why is Lady Whiteheart here? Why not? This is my room, you know. I can't remember what voice I gave Blarney, because she's very whispery. This is the leader of our resistance and CPU of Lowee, Lady Whiteheart. What? It is so confusing. The Nep is having a hard time figuring out what to do. Be quiet. If you're going to cause a commotion, do it outside. I believe I know what is going on now. She is the real Blanc, is it not? Yes, exactly. No fair, Vert. Tell us what's going on. Yes, can you make it easier for us to understand? Wait, Lady Vert, what do you mean real? Oh, please, not all at once. Financier, can you please explain? Oh no, please let me do the honors in place of Lady Vert. I will also supplement in the fair name of Lady Compa. You guys are here too. With how Lady Vert is in presence, how little our CPU is. What did you just say? Nothing, nothing, my lady. Can you please get on with this? In short, Lowee was taken over by the fake Lady Blanc. The Lady Blanc at the Basilicom is Conversation in disguise. Conversation? If you know of her, then this will be easier to explain. Evangelizer Conversation has the power to steal and copy powers. Her lady was ambushed and the power of the goddess was taken along with Lowee. Don't remind me of her. I trusted her and this is what I get. Simply put, you formed the resistance to get things back to normal again. That's right. Hey, wait, I've seen both of you somewhere before. My, do I need to remind you, Blanc? Vert? Why did you come to Lowee? I came for I came to help Neptune and pay Conversation a visit. So that small pint next to you is... I lost my memory, but hey, Blanc, long time no see. So you came here to fight me for position in the console war? Stop! Before this becomes a wall of text, I didn't come to fight you. To top it off, I don't remember a thing, so can't we be friends? Don't remember? You? We can confirm that. Well, if you say so, I see no reason to place doubt. Lady Blanc, they are impressive allies, are they not? True, I couldn't have asked for better. But this is Louise's issue. I can't have other CPUs helping me. I'll figure out a way to solve everything. Lady Blanc. Whoa, what was that? The tremor, it seems to have come from outside. Lady Blanc, we're in trouble. Hey, it's Lan. How's it? You should have called if you were coming. Who are you? Lan doesn't know you. Neptune, this Lan here is not the same Lan with me. Really? They kind of look the same. Is that Lanlist? Lanist? The Basilicom is attacking us. Damn her. Are you okay, Blanc? You look kind of pale. It's because my shares are down, but I can still handle this. If you pay attention to her sprite when the fake White Heart shows up, she is actually paler than the fake one. If you pay extra attention, like her skin's paler. I'll send those words straight back at you. Talking tough as usual. I'll exterminate you along with those heretics around you. Come, Killer Sheen. Go ahead and destroy them, city and all. Destroy the city? Blanc. Oh, here we go. So now you're gonna kill everyone? Damn you, you stuck-up bitch! Whoa, ow, my ears! Yikes, Nep, Lady Blanc is scary. Don't tell me she's a silent type that explodes when she gets mad. Unfortunately, yes, and one correction, explodes is an understatement. Shut your traps before I have to shut them for you. See? The exact type of person you don't want to be put on the wrong side of, eh? It doesn't matter what you say, Killer Shine. Kill machine, finish them. What? You running? Bring your clothes and bring yourself back here. What, you want to play? Let's do this. You should change too, Nep. Can you please change as well, Lady Vert? Aye, sir. You can count on me. Also, yeah, this cast of characters that are in the main party is only gonna grow, so my efforts of keeping up with the voices is only gonna get harder. The hell are you going HDD for? I don't need your stinking help. Just shut it already. We are here to help protect the people here. Yes, as CPUs, it is our duty to help people regardless. Suit yourself. Blanc has been added. And Neptune and Blanc have a shared EXE attack for level 2, which means it's not going to get used because it's terrible. And our EXE gauge now hits level 4, which is what it's the highest it can be. Blanc is an amazing defensive unit. She does good damage because she uses a hammer that turns into an axe when she goes HDD. But the biggest factor that makes her significant is the fact that she's very bulky and has a shit ton of defense on her. You can make her your tank, and I heavily recommend you do so. Like I always mention it, but when it's the original game or Rebirth 1, where you can only have a party of 3, my party of 3 is Nep, Vert, and Blanc. Because Blanc also through items becomes a great healer because she can just tank everything, be on the front line, and then just top up everyone. Because this game does have the problem that most Idea Factory games that have this kind of you can move around the arena play, enemies have a tendency to prioritize closest threat. So if you have Blanc push right up on the enemy and then have everyone else back off, although it's not guaranteed the enemy's more likely to target Blanc. I was saying, it's something that they have got better with over the years, and because this is reverse, and it's so technically the most recent version, it's arguably the best version of the enemy AI that they've had in a while. Like, I'd say next to Death End 2, and even then, Death End 2, if you remember from the Let's Play, had pretty exploitable AI at certain points, especially in the pain area. So you can imagine what it was like in some of their much older games, how really exploitable it really was. I'm talking like in the original version of like Net 1 and the original version of Mark 2, you could straight up manipulate the enemies into doing whatever you wanted, really. But and although it's like that's nerfs just by the nature of the AI smarter, there is still a play here. Enemies will tend to target either allies that are closer, or if allies are too close to one another. They will prioritize, if you have two teammates right next to each other, they will prioritize attacking them because they can hit them both. So if you keep people spaced out, which is why I'm having everyone circle the enemy, that tends to work in your favor. Something when every time I go back to Neptunia, since playing Death End Request 2 particularly, that I really miss is knockback attacks. I really miss knockback attacks in like Death End Requests, more so in Death End Request 2 because of how much they buffed them. They just add so much more of an element to damage dealing on the enemy, where you can just hit them with a strong physical attack and send them flying into other allies to bounce them around or bounce them off the wall or whatnot for extra damage. Like once you're used to that in Death End, coming back to Neptunia where it's a lot more basic, you feel it. You really feel it. I mean, speaking of, I have been playing Death End 2 again. I can't help it. That every time I play through that game, I love it more, and I already really loved it. Like, it was my second favourite Idea Factory game when I first went through it, and now I think it is starting to dethrone Dragonstar, just because the game had a bloody budget, unlike Dragonstar. Like, Death End 2 is just such a goddamn good game, in my opinion. I just wish they patched it to the PC version, because the PC version does have a few quality of life patches, and patched in some of the voice lines and sound effects that were missing from the launch version. The PS4 version never got that. I'd like to imagine the upcoming Switch release will have those quality of lives, and if there is a god, when the Switch version releases, there'll be a patch for the PS4 version that makes it that incorporates the quality of life features that I'm sure the Switch version will have. I mean, like, the biggest thing I'd love to see is just a performance upgrade patch, where it's like if you're playing on PS4 Pro or PS5, you can make the most of it and cut loading down or play it at 60 frames, because it's kind of wild that the game's locked at 30. And I really hope when Death End Request 3 comes out, which it will, that's 60. It has a PS5 release and it's at 60. Which, speaking of, that's probably something that I've really enjoyed with Reverse, is that Rebirth 1 and 2 on Vita were 30 frames. Rebirth 3 was 60, which kind of surprised me, as I was like, oh, they could do it then, it's just it wasn't the easiest thing for them to do, I suppose. But that really surprised me when I went to the third game and saw it was moving at like a silky smooth frame rate after playing the first two at 30. And I said in the fourth game, the reason why V2 is 60 frames and V2R is 30 frames is entirely because of the VR. It compromised the VR to have it at 60 frames. But I've heard that there's been workarounds on the PC version, and I'm sure there is because it's the PC version. But yeah, the only thing that I want to point out, that if you're, because I use this level 1 EXE with Blanc, and after you'd be used to the damage that you saw Vert do, you're going to see Blanc's damage not be as satisfying right now. And other than the fact it's just because, you know, Vert's overpowered as fuck, it's also because the default equipment on Blanc is based around her defensive stat and not her aggressive stats. So she just straight up doesn't have as high an attack or magic attack as some of the other characters, but she has a very brick wall defense. That cut in the gameplay was also because I got pulled away, and when I came back, it's just as I picked up my controller, it twigged L2, and so I missed out on the level up screens. So I imagine some people leveled up, but oh well. I hope it's just me, but it feels like it was stronger than before. Yeah, the Killer Shine's gonna show up several more times as the game goes on, and it's gonna get more and more powerful. For now, yeah, continue checking the Basilicum's actions. In particular, see if you can find out about their supply routes. Yes, my lady, understood. By the way, I wanted to ask you something, Blanc. What? I'm looking for an item called a key fragment. You know of it? I never heard of it. What is it for? It's to help free history. Is that why you're traveling all around the world? Yup, you got it. And once Histy is free, I'm going to ask her about myself. I recall you saying something about you not remembering. Rightio again. I'm one of them rare amnesic heroes you find in manga and things. That means the cause from that last battle. As for me, my power as goddess was taken from Conversacion, aka R4. R4 is Conversacion's true name. I suppose this isn't the time to be dueling between goddesses. Indeed, being with Neptune made me see how little we know about each other. Should we not at least just once talk between the four of us? True, but are we actually able to do that? It won't be easy. We each were born to detest each other from the beginning. But the misfortune of Neptune has led us to meet on different terms. Oh, I heard my name. Oh shucks, no need to praise me for so much, you know. She's like this now. But that is why we can now talk outside of battle. This is going way over me. So can I sum it up as we'll save Lowee? We'll save Lowee. That's a bit of a short on the description there. You're stressed from being ousted and no one's happy, right? Let's just help each other, goddess to goddess, and get this over with. Neptune. From a positional standpoint, I should not help you or Lowee. But we can't let R4 run about, so I will help as well. This is a new artwork for Reverse. Please, help Lowee. I'll do anything as long as Venezia and the citizens are fine. Oh, come on, Blan, you crybaby. Wipe those tears away with yours. We're at work together to save Lowee and great game industry, right? Yes. That artwork's unique, in the same way that Vert sitting at the PC is unique to Reverse. And we also got the Lowee fishing pond, which is pretty brutal if you're not used. If you're still learning how the fishing works in this game, the Lowee fishing pond kicks your ass. Anyway, next time on Neptunia Reverse, we're going to help Blan's campaign to get Lowee back to her. But until then, you guys take care now. Peace.